Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Too Ambitious. I am so happy to be here with you today. And also, too, happy October, right? When did we get into October, the season of pumpkin, horror movies, which I hate, and PSL, which I know everybody loves, but low key, I despise them. Anyway, that's a fun fact about me. So happy October, everyone. If this is your first time joining the show, this is a show that we celebrate Black women and women of color founders who are changing the world, who are innovative, who are passionate about the work that they're doing. And of course, as you probably guessed, they're probably very, very ambitious. So I want to welcome you all to the show. Show me some love in the comments. Let me see it light up. Give me some heart emojis. Let me know where you're joining me from in the comments because we're all family here. Even wherever you're calling from, we are all family. So today on the show, I have an extraordinary founder. So let me tell you all about her and then we can bring her on. Okay. So today we are talking all about venture capital and how to get it. So Brittani Hunter is here, everyone. That's right. The great Brittani Hunter is here. She is the CEO founder of Mogul Millennial, a digital media platform for entrepreneurs and executives that gives them the tools that they need most to grow their businesses and careers. Now, Brittani is brilliant, and she's also a LinkedIn top voice because she also created a startup funding database to make it easier for Black founders to find grants and other funding for their businesses. Incredible, right? So I want everyone to show her some love. I want to see those emojis light up. I want you all to let her know that she is phenomenal and that she's in the right place. So let's bring on the great Brittani Hunter.
Oh my God. First of all, you have the best energy, okay?
Thanks.
Your energy is so contagious. But thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
having me. I'm
Of course,
excited
of
to be
course.
here.
Yes, I'm super happy that you are here, Brittani. Always been a fan of yours and the incredible work that you're doing through Mogul Millennial. And, I'm just always in awe because you do not stop.
Listen, I really love what I do. Like I truly love it. Like definitely there's some days, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I feel like I'm really walking in my purpose. And so it's
Ooh,
hard to
yes.
sometimes.
Yes, yes to walking in your purpose, and so now that we're talking about your purpose, tell me a little bit about, for everyone who may not know who Brittani Hunter is, you know everything about her after the show, but tell me a little bit about, the work that you do, just to kind of set the stage a little bit.
Yeah. So again, thanks for having me, and hello everybody. I'm excited to meet y'all, and I'll check through the comments and try to respond as I can. But again, my name is Brittani. I'm the founder and CEO of Mogul Millennial, and what we do, we basically help Black entrepreneurs. Whether you're an aspiring entrepreneur or a current entrepreneur across industries and stages, grow your ventures or start and launch and grow and scale your company. And so we do this through content, through connecting you to resources, and then also, of course, capital, as Trish said earlier.
Yes, and we all know that capital makes the world go round because without it, not much is happening. So,
Exactly.
you know.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, you are the founder of Mogul Millennial, and you've been doing this for what, 7 years, going on 8?
Oh my God. You know,
Yeah.
when I think about that, like, so sometimes I'm having conversations with other people and they mention that it's been 7 years. I can't believe it. Like, number one, time goes by so fast, and
It
we all
does.
know that. Like I feel like yesterday was June, and now we're almost at Christmas. But
Right?
yeah, but no, it's been about 7 years. I
Yeah.
decided to take the business on full time in 2019, and
Okay.
so that's a conversation for another day for sure. Like from the moment that I had the idea to when I took the leap of faith, and even after I took the leap of faith, I went
Right.
through my own journey after that. But yeah, I've been a full time founder since 2019 and been working on Mogul for a nice good minute.
Yeah, you have. And I mean, you hear so many stories about people who are founders, and how they got their start.
Yeah.
So let's take us all back a little bit. How did you start Mogul Millennium? First of all, the name is fire.
Thank
It's
you.
fine. So, tell us how you came up with the name and what was going on in your life at the time that made you want to start Mogul Millennial?
Yeah. So when I first had the idea for Mogul Millennial, by the way, I was the first, well, second time founder. Let me stop. I like
Mhm.
to say first time founder because the first business that I had, it absolutely was like it went to trash. Like it was so bad.
Yeah.
Like, I was such a bad business owner. But when I first had the idea for Mogul Millennial, it derived based off of my experiences from trying to start my very first company. And so, for those who don't know me, or don't know me well, I am a dog mom. I love my baby. You may even see her in the background, like getting up to go to her other bed because she hates it. I'm noisy while she's trying to sleep. But yeah, I'm a dog mom, and I had this idea for a brand in the e-com space for pets. And I went online trying to find resources and just content that I could relate to as a new business owner, especially as a Black business owner.
Yeah.
And I feel short often. And so, as we all know, unfortunately, Black entrepreneurs or Black people in general, we're overlooked and underserved in pretty
Yes.
much every industry. And it's pretty sad to say. And I absolutely hate saying it over and over, but it's the truth. It's the hard truth that we have
Yeah.
to swallow. But yeah, I felt like I couldn't find anything that could help me grow, that could speak to me and my unique experiences that I was going through, even in those very early days of trying to launch a business. And so I decided, once that first idea didn't go well or didn't go far, I decided to do something about it. And so initially, Mogul Millennial started out as a media publishing company because I was very passionate about our stories being told, and not just like news announcements, but more so centered around like the how we were doing things. I
Right.
think often in the media space, we see, all these press releases, this person just raised this amount of capital, or they just launched in Target or Walmart or whatever.
Mhm.
But as someone that was an aspiring business owner, I want to know, okay, well, how did they do this? And I think that we see those stories a lot, with white men, and we see it in all the different publications, but we don't see how we're doing those things. And so I
Right.
think, representation is key. When you see it, it makes it believable. It gives you that confidence. And so I wanted to provide that for people that look like me. And then, so yeah, we started out as a media publishing company, and then over time, we introduced new products. We started hosting virtual events, and we've done some in-person events, and so forth.
Oh, wow. Wonderful. What were some of the challenges in the beginning in sort of kind of figuring out how to scale your business, you know?
Yeah, I think the main challenge that I went through, and I think it's a challenge that most entrepreneurs go through, whether you're Black, white, or whatever, is customer acquisition. So in the early days,
Mhm.
especially as a media company, you often hear that you should focus on users first. But in my mind, I was thinking, yes, that makes sense, but I also need money. I need to make money. And so I struggle deeply with trying to figure out what business model would make the most sense for Mogul
Yeah.
based off of where we were, in the present tense, and then also where we were going.
Yeah.
And then from there, once I figured out the business model, how do I actually attract those said customers? And so
Mhm.
that was something that I definitely struggle with for
Yeah.
sure. Just being transparent in like the first like few years. And then once I really, honed in on my customer, my target customer, what they wanted, and listened to them, that's when I started seeing a positive change.
Mm. Okay. So the key is finding out the business model that works for your ideal customer. That's the trick.
And knowing who your customer is,
Okay.
talking to
No.
them. We
Okay.
often don't
Got it.
want to talk to our customers, but you have to talk to them.
Yeah. Okay. So tell me about, so now that you found out who your target customer is, what do you go for? Like, what is the next step after that? We have so many people who are founders who are just starting, that sort of thing, and are curious, because like you said, there isn't a lot of information out there on how to
Mhm.
do this,
Yeah.
right? So take me from like, okay, we figured out our ideal customer. Now what?
Yeah. So once you figure out who your customer is, and number one, you need to figure out where they frequent. Also, like look at other companies that like, so your competition, how are they marketing to your target audience? And you can get some ideas from that. But it's really important that that you create a plan where you can actually sell to them. And I know it may sound obvious, but one of the things that I noticed when I talk to a lot of entrepreneurs is that we don't actually tell people that we have a business, and we don't actually properly sell to them. And so, also, if you know me, you know that I'm a huge fan of email marketing. I think email is the best tool to connect with your audience and your customers. And so I would suggest that that entrepreneurs, if you're listening, that you create an email marketing strategy to tap into your customers. And so, of course, you have to attract them to those emails. So marketing on social media, marketing in other areas where your customer is, whatever that is. One of the things that I also did was tap into similar communities. And so maybe we had different offerings, but my target audience was already engaged with those organizations or communities. And then from there, making sure that once you have tapped into that community and you are in front of that audience, that you have a solid plan in place to engage over time. For us, it's always been email. So portals and follow-ups, proper tagging, proper segmenting, and all that good stuff. And I can talk about that for days, but
I'm sure. But no, that's like super helpful information. And I haven't heard, like, I've talked to so many people on this show, but I haven't heard anybody talk about, the importance of doing the email marketing and that sort of thing. So I think that's super key. And obviously it's working for you in your business because you're still going strong,
No, email is key. In my opinion, this is me just being biased based off of what's worked for me, but I definitely put more effort into our email strategy over social media. Social media is just for fun, to show them, what we do, or just to kind of just show them that we remind them that we exist. But once we get your email, then we can really like build their relationship and in the beginning, hopefully, turn you into a customer.
And build community too, right? It's such an important piece of all of this is that, if you make those connections with people, they always want to come back and support you time and time again. So that's super smart. And now I know you're very passionate about Black business owners' ability to access capital. We all know, or if you don't know, that only 1% of venture-backed founders are Black. Was that one of the reasons that, prompted you to launch the startup funding database to level the playing field?
Yeah, that was one of the reasons. Also, so when I kind of give you a little bit of a backstory, when I first went full-time as a founder, first of all, I went full-time way too early. So if you were listening, keep your job, okay? Keep the job.
Keep your day job, people.
Keep it. But everything happens for a reason. But I went full-time, received our first investor check, and it was actually from Snapchat. They were one of our first investors. We went through their accelerator program they used to run called Yellow. But we went through that program, and after that program, one thing that people don't talk about a lot is that the 100K, 150K, 200, 300, whatever it is that you're going to get from some of these accelerator programs, it may sound like a lot of money, but it's really not. And so, once you've, invested that money in whatever ways that makes the most sense for your business, if you are not bringing in a sustainable amount of revenue to keep your company going, you still need funding, right? And so as a bootstrap founder myself, I struggled with trying to learn about different grants or accelerators or just any type of opportunities, period, that could, help me take my business, to the next level. Because keep in mind, I went through the Snapchat program in 2020. It was only a year after I started my company, and then we all know what 2020 looked like. So,
thing.
So, and I was still trying to like really learn. I was in the earliest stages of my company still, and so I needed that mentorship. I needed the funding, and so oftentimes I would spend literally hours, not hours, in all caps, trying to find grants or pitch competitions or what have you. And I would often either I would come up short. So either the information that I will find will be outdated, the links wouldn't work,
Mm,
or I wouldn't find anything at all. But then I would pull up, LinkedIn or Instagram or Twitter the very next day, and then I'll see, all these press releases about, X founder just got into this program. And so to me, it was clear that the money was there, but
right.
the programs basically weren't being appealed, or they weren't being marketed in areas where I was frequenting as a founder. So the publications I was reading, the pages I was following on social media, the newsletters that I was a part of, etc. And so eventually I discovered a way to basically find all these different grants, all the latest grants and accelerator programs. And so I know that other people in my community were struggling with the same. And so I
Mhm.
wanted to make it easier for them as well to find funding opportunities. And so, yeah, there we go.
Yeah. So that's what you did. You were basically you're giving back. That's what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, the startup funding database, I think, is something that I think a lot of people don't realize. Like, if you're not like an entrepreneur, a lot of people don't think about venture capital, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, if you're an entrepreneur, how do you know when you need venture capital?
Yeah. First of all, I guess maybe just kind of rewind back a little bit. So our database, it connects founders to different VC opportunities and also to grants, pitch competitions,
Mhm,
fellowships, Mitchell Studio opportunities, like all the things, right?
mhm, mhm.
And so your question was, I'm sorry, it was, how do you know when you're ready for venture?
Yeah, how do you know you're ready? Or can anyone just kind of plug in their information to your database?
Yeah, so anyone can use our database. We are like our company, so even if you're not Black, you can use it. But for reasons that I think we all know, it makes sense that we target Black founders. It's a passion of mine. I'm very serious about it.
Right.
Black founders were often kept out of conversations when it comes to funding, and so it was really important to me that we know about all these different opportunities, just like the other founder
Right.
in our networks. And
Yeah.
so and especially Trish, when I tell you, I meet so many incredible founders, okay? And I learn about their businesses and they're building really great things. And so when I see these programs that come across our desk that we end up putting in on the database, immediately I think like there's no reason why we should not also get this money, why we shouldn't be a part of these programs,
Yeah.
because our businesses and ideas are just as brilliant, if not even more brilliant. And so, any
Say that.
anyone can use our platform. I will say that we target the majority of our opportunities listed are for US based founders. And
Okay.
so one common misconception is that people think that, oh, all of the opportunities that's in the database are only for Black founders, meaning like this grant is, I don't know, this beauty grant for Black founders, but that's
Right.
absolutely incorrect. There are tons of opportunities listed, some
Yeah.
that targets Black founders specifically, and
Mhm.
then like any in general, like the ones that you see right there that we're featuring, the Tory Burch Foundation
Yeah.
Fellows Program, that's for any founder, the Nordstrom Community Grants Program for any founder. But again, it's important that we know that these opportunities exist and we know all the details so that way we can be prepared when it's time to apply.
Yeah, and I mean, I love how simple this is like outlined too. You get in here, you plug in your information, you signed up, you can become a member if
Yeah.
you want as well. This is super helpful. Thank you for creating it. What has been the feedback that you've been getting from entrepreneurs? Is a lot of people finding this
Yeah.
database?
No, they love it. So
Yeah.
part of being a member or a subscriber to the database is that you also get access to our weekly email that comes out on Fridays. And when I tell you, my community, they love that email. We send it out every Friday before 11 a.m. Central.
Yeah.
And I remember one time we didn't send it out before 11. Oh, emails were coming through. They were like, "Where is the email? I need it."
Okay.
But, but no, it's a really great resource, and we have customer stories on there. We have some testimonials that people can check out. But when I tell you, our founders that use this platform, They love some of the features like the bookmarking feature, so they can save opportunities they're interested in. Then they'll get reminders because remember, we're busy. We have a lot going on in our heads,
You
our
do.
business, family, and just life in general. So they'll get text and email reminders several times before the deadline passes. And then, so they love that. But then I think they like how easy and how digestible the platform is. And so instead of trying to, search on LinkedIn or Instagram and Twitter and just everywhere, Google to find a grant, they can go to one place, use our filtering options, find what they need, and they're good to go. And our founders are collecting these grants and money like infinity zones. Like,
oh my God.
Yeah, it's good.
First of all, I love that they're collecting like infinity stones. That
They
makes me
are.
so happy. Love a good Marvel reference. Love that,
It's funny. Sometimes I'll see like the different press releases from programs and I'll read through because sometimes we'll have founders, they'll let us know like, hey, I found this program through your newsletter on your database and I got in. And then from there, it'll prompt me to look and see, well, who else got in? And when I see like name after name and then I cross-reference it to our subscriber list, it's crazy. Like I remember one program we had, like, I think they did like a fellowship for like 10 folks and legit like 6 or 7 all came from Mogul. So yeah.
Look at that. So people are using the database and finding it extremely valuable, and I think that, we just have to get the word out and get more people to be aware that, this amazing resource exists. I do have a question from Clarine Mitchell. She says, is there value in a non-millennials using Brittani's platform? Great question.
Your question. So I just realized I didn't answer this earlier. When I first launched Mogul Millennial, our target audience were millennials. I'm a millennial. I aspired to be a mogul, hence the name. But yeah, so there is value in non-millennials using our platform. You can, like, as long as you are a business owner, you can use our platform.
Okay, perfect. So that means any age, any gender, any diverse background. Anyone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just, I would say, and this will be whether you're a subscriber or not. Before you apply to a grant, you need to be like, I think your business should be at a certain point, or even if you haven't launched yet, you need to have that vision clearly like written down and outlined, so that way you can tell the story that you need to tell to whoever the funder is. And so to go back to your question, anyone can use it, but I highly recommend that you are at a place to where you really know, not like, I think I want to be an entrepreneur, so let me get a subscription. That, to me, that honestly, that doesn't make sense. You need to be ready to actually use it.
Right. You have to know your why, right?
Yeah.
It goes back to that. You can't just be doing it just for funsies.
Yeah.
You got to get out there and do it. So, so you have this great, resource that is helping founders to gain access to venture capital. We know that the playing field is not level. Mm-hmm. You're in this business. You're doing this day to day. Do you think things are changing?
Slowly but surely.
Okay.
And I say slowly, I mean slowly. Yeah, and it's really unfortunate, but one of the things I like to tell founders is that it's important that you build your business in a way where it's undeniable, right? Mm-hmm. So even to the point where I guess let me rewind back a little bit. After George Floyd's murder, we saw a lot of initiatives. We saw like all these programs coming out, all these promises. Yeah. And one of the things that I've noticed personally is that those programs probably still exist, but now they exist for everybody. Right. So you can take that and digest it how you want, but I'm saying all that to say, although those programs are now becoming like, now it's for BIPOC entrepreneurs or underserved or whatever, which to me now it widens the criteria pool. Yeah. I think regardless, as long as you are building something that is undeniable and that has really impressive stats, then you are putting yourself on the you're putting yourself in the right position to get that funding.
Right.
And then, just to be transparent, you won't get every grant that you apply to. You will not win every pitch competition. You might not even get accepted to even pitch on stage. But,
Right.
I think one of the things that I love about applying for grants or programs is that they'll ask you questions that maybe you don't know, or you will realize as you're answering them that you probably should, dig a little deeper and
Right.
know this more about your business. And so yeah, I think when you get to that point, you need to just know more about your company and then just focus on like just how to build a business. And so
Yeah.
whether or not you get the funding, because as I shared earlier, it's slowly changing, you're not dependent on that. I don't think that you should ever be dependent on, okay, I need to get a grant in order to have a
Right.
sustainable business.
Right.
Grants will not be the end all be all.
Yeah, that's true. That is not a revenue generator.
It's not. And I see too many
Yeah.
people that think like, okay, I just need to apply for grant after grant and get it. Like, no, you don't need to do that. That's like the cherry on top, not the main source.
Right, exactly. And if you're doing that, then you definitely have to go back to your business model and kind
Yep.
of figure out the way to drive revenue. So Brittany, you've been doing this a while. I mean, you are the GOAT, like for real, What's next for you? Like, what are you thinking about, what you want to do with Mogul Millennial? Tell me all the things. What's the future look like for you? What's lighting you up these days?
Yeah. So really my community, like just seeing the feedback that we're getting and seeing how, how they're using our resources or how we're able to connect them to different opportunities or networks, help them grow.
Yeah.
That really keeps me going every single day, especially when it's been a long day or it was a long night and I wake up and sometimes I'll check my DMs or I'll check our emails and I'll see like some good news. And so
Yeah.
it reminds me that, okay, the work that we're doing is important. And not only is important, but it's truly helping people. And so what's next for us is to really just take it up a notch. And so
Great.
we started out as just strictly, as a content publishing platform as a media company. And now we've evolved to a media tech company with our database tool. And so what we have on the horizon is more tools and more features that can help like business owners scale their companies. And so
Okay.
that's what I'm excited about, is just creating more tools that can help founders as they, take their companies as well to the next level.
Yeah. And you're a venture-backed company, right?
Yeah,
Or
so we've raised money through accelerator programs. And so our first investor was Snapchat, and then we went through the Talent Opportunity Accelerator by Andreessen Horowitz as well.
Okay. All right. I love it. Now, Brittany, my final question to you is, do you consider yourself ambitious?
Absolutely. And probably a little delusional at times. No, I'm just playing. But
Nothing wrong with that. Delulu works.
right. It has to. You gotta have a community of Delulu friends too. But yeah, no, absolutely. I think I I often set myself up with like really hardcore goals, whether it's for Mogul Millennial or just personally. Like now I've gotten back into fitness, and so my fitness goals are a little crazy, but I think it's important to to challenge yourself in
Yeah.
every capacity.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's the only way growth actually happens, right? Is
Exactly.
pushing ourselves, trying new things, and not being afraid to fail.
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah,
Yeah, you just got to keep going.
yeah.
So, any parting advice for entrepreneurs that are out there? What is maybe like one tip that you would give an entrepreneur out there who may be trying to figure it out, who's looking for resources, or who was maybe just like, I don't know what I'm doing?
Well, first of all, we all don't know what we're doing half the time.
Okay, noted.
Yeah, and I think sometimes if we do, sometimes life will remind us that actually you could have improved on this, or maybe what you were thinking wasn't the right way to go, and that's okay, right? We're all growing. You just have to be responsible enough to know when you've made a mistake and learn from it, and move on to the next and keep it pushing.
Yeah.
I was just telling somebody this yesterday. My biggest advice is to focus on product. I think that's the
Okay.
biggest advice I can give you. Like, I think it's important to get yourself out there, go to conferences and do all that stuff, but don't get so infatuated with trying to be on the scene or at conferences or just trying to do all the things that you forget that I actually need to build a business, right? So
Right.
focus on product development, focus on iterating that product and making it better and better. And I think when you do that, you'll win regardless.
I, I I love it. There you go. Drop the mic. That's amazing. That's excellent advice, Brittany. Thank you. Now I know you got to go. You got to run a business and continue to be great. So thank you so much for your time and being on Too Ambitious today and sharing your wisdom with us and your journey. This was great.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. We'll have to come back. I mean, maybe, I don't know, another 10 years, I guess, but maybe I'll have you back like maybe like in another 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just to see where you are. Well, thanks again, Brittany. And thanks everyone for watching Too Ambitious today. Make sure you follow Brittany Hunter on LinkedIn and also check out her website, mogulmillennial.com. And if you are looking for funding and you are looking to build a community, check out startupfunding.mogulmillennial.com because that is where the database is and that's where you can get the support and most importantly, the money. The money. We're such dorks. All right, thanks everyone for watching. See you next time.
Bye.